An array is a group of consecutive memory locations with same name and type. Simple variables is a single memory location with a unique name and a type. But an array is a collection of different adjacent memory locations. All these memory locations have one collective name and type. The memory locations in the array are known as elements of array. The length and the total number of elements in the array is called as length. So upon these, here are some types of array which are one-dimensional array, two-dimensional array, or multi-dimensional arrays. One-dimensional array is a type of array in which all elements are arranged in the form of a list is known as one-dimensional array. It is also called single-dimensional array or linear list. It consists of one column or one row. The process of specifying array name, length, and data type is called array declaration. The syntax of array declaration is as the syntax of one-dimensional array is as follows: data type, identifier, and into the brackets we give the length of this array. So if we write int marks into bracket 5, data type of values to be stored in the array is int, and marks is the identifier or the name of this array, and 5 is the total number of elements in the array. So when we create int marks into bracket 5 array, then it have index numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0 indicates the first element of the array and 4 indicates the last element of the array. So if we write marks into 0, it represents variable of first student marks. Similarly, marks 1, marks 2, marks 3, and marks 4 represents the respective positions of the student marks, and we can access any element of an array by using its index values. Here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 are the index values of the array with the name marks. Here are some examples of one-dimensional array. If we want to declare an integer array with 10 elements, we write int x into bracket 10. Here int is the data type of array, x is the name or the identifier of the array, and 10 is the length or the size of this array. And float AR5, it declares an float array with 5 elements. Here float is the data type, ARR is the name of the array or the identifier of the array, and 5 is the size of this array. Similarly, if we want to declare an character array with 50 elements, then we write char n and into the brackets 50. Here char is the character type, data type of this array, n is the name of the array, and 50 is the length of the array. So initialization of one-dimensional array, the process of Assigning values to array elements as the time of array declaration is called array initialization. The initialization process provides a list of initial values for array elements. The values are separated with commas and enclosed within braces. There must be at least one initial value between braces. A syntax error occurs if the value in braces are more than the length of array. If the number of initial values is less than the array size, the remaining array elements are initialized to 0. So here is the syntax to initialize array is as follows: data type, identifier, and into the bracket length is equal to list of values between the curly braces. So data type, it indicates the data type of the values to be stored in the array. Identifier, it is the name of the array. Length, it indicates total number of elements in the array. It must be a literal constant or symbolic constant. List of values, it indicates the values to initialize the array. These values must be constant. For example, we initialize an array with array elements as int marks in brackets int 5 is equal to 70, 54, 82, 96, 49 into the curly braces. In the above example, we are declaring and initializing an array at the same time. When we declare and initialize an array at same time, giving the size of array is optional. So in this statement, int marks 5 is equal to 70, 54, 82, 96, 49. An integer array marks with 5 elements is declared. It also initializes the array with values given in the braces. In the declaration, marks 0 is initialized as 70, marks 1 is initialized to 54, and so on. Marks 4 is initialized as 49. Here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 are index numbers. An array size can be omitted when it is initialized in the declaration. Int marks 5 is equal to 70, 54, 82, 96, 49. So we already see that at the index value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, we store values 70, 54, 82, 96, 49, and if we want to get these values back, we use to write marks into bracket 0, and it gives us the value 70, and if we use marks 1, then it returns us a value 54. Marks 2 gives value 82, marks 3 gives value 96, and marks 4 gives value 49. So here are some key points to be remembered: that arrays have 0 as the first index, not 1. In this example, mark 0 is the first element of the array. If the size of an array is n, to access the last element n minus 1 index is used. In this example, marks 4 is the last element. Suppose the starting address of marks 0 is 2120D, then the next address A1 will be 2124D, address of 2 will be 2128D, and so on. One dimensional array initialization ways. There are different ways to initialize a one dimensional array. First one is int myArray10. Here we declare array data type, its name, and its total values that are 10, and we assign 000 to all these memory locations of my array of 10 elements. Similarly, when we giving we write int myArray 10 is equal to 0, it has the same meaning as we write int myArray 10 int is equal to curly braces 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0, and when we give any array to values, then initializing one dimensional array, an array size can be omitted when it is initialized in the declaration as int myArray and empty brackets is equal to 0 0 0 0 0 0. Here the compiler determines the size of myArray according to the initialized value on the right side. The size of array in this example is 10. So here are some points to be remembered. Initializing array. Initializing is a process to initialize the value in array variable. This is happen in two ways. Initialize array one by one, or all elements are initializing once. For example, if we have array with, and we initialize it as int array into brackets 5, and if we want to assign the values to this and if we want to store values 10 20 30 40 50 into this array, we may write it as array 0 is equal to 10, array 1 is equal to 20, array 2 is equal to 30, array 3 is equal to 40, array 4 is equal to 50. Or we have another way to initialize of an array is that int array empty brackets is equal to 10 20 30 40 50. Here we initialize all the element at once. So these two initialization of array are equivalent. Referring to array elements, in any point of a program in which an array is visible, we can access the value of any of its element individually as if it was a normal variable. So being able to both read and modify its values. To get any value of individual elements of an array, the syntax is as name and into brackets index of the. So each individual elements of an array is accessed by specifying the following: name of the array and the index of the element. The syntax of accessing an individual element of an array is as array name and into the brackets the index of the element. For example, we write cout age 4. It prints an array element at index 4 of array age, and if and we assign this variable a value as age 4 is equal to 55. Now we update the value of age 4 at 55. Also we upgrade age 4 value as seen age 4. So how to insert and print array elements? The process of input and output with arrays is similar to the input and output with simple variables. The scene object is used to input values in the arrays. The cout object is used to display values of arrays. However, the use of these objects with each individual elements become very time consuming because each element is treated as a simple variable. In this example, we have an array with the name marks and data type integer, and total size of this marks array is 5, and we assigning or initializing it with these values 19, 10, 8, 17 and 9. So at 0 position it has a value 19, at first position or first index it has a value 10, as second index it has value 8, and third index it has a value 17, and at index 4 it has value 9. So if we want to change the value of the third index, that is 17, we may write it as marks 3 is equal to and write the new value 9. Now our int marks 5 array becomes with the values 19, 10, 8, 9 and 9. Similarly, we use cin object to assign new values to any element of the array. For example, if we want to change the second element of the array, then we use cin object, cin marks and index value of second, and then user give its desired value. We change the second value of marks 5 array, that is 8, with the new value. Similarly, take input from the user and insert it in I plus 1th element, that is cin marks I mean any index value from 0 to the total length minus 1 element. So print first element of an array if we want to show the value of at 0 index, then we write cout array name and its index value, that is marks 0. So this line prints the value stored at first element of an array. And if we want to print the last element of an array, or we change, then we write cout marks I minus 1, where I is the total size of the array.